Can you imagine a cop's worst nightmare unfolding in real time? Picture this, Sergeant Brian Calloway, a man who thought he'd seen it all, just stumbled into the biggest mistake of his career, and oh, how it's about to unravel. The sun blazes high in the sky, scorching the quiet, pristine streets of Brookfield, a picture-perfect neighborhood nestled in Ohio. This is the kind of place you'd dream of, raising a family sidewalks framed by hedges so neatly trimmed they could have been sculpted, morning joggers moving in sync like a choreographed dance, and police patrols rolling through so routinely you'd hardly notice them. Hardly necessary, right? But there's Sergeant Calloway, cruising along in his squad car, one hand gripping the wheel, the other lazily draped over the radio, exuding that seasoned confidence only 20 years on the force can give you. He's seen it all, or so he keeps telling himself day in and day out. This guy's got a reputation, and he wears it like a badge of honor, tough as nails, straight to the point, no room for excuses. Justice? Oh, he's got his own version of it, etched deep into his bones and in his sharp, unyielding eyes. Anyone who doesn't quite fit the mold of certain areas, well, they deserve a second look, don't they? So when he spots her up ahead, his radar pings. She's a black woman, mid-40s, striding with a confidence that screams strength, her toned frame cutting through the morning air. She's jogging at a steady pace, earbuds plugged in, completely lost in her own world. Expensive running shoes hug her feet, sleek athletic gear clings to her like it was made for her. She looks like she belongs here, doesn't she? But wait, something about her gnaws at Calloway's gut. Is it because she doesn't even glance his way? Most folks at least nod or peek at a police cruiser rolling by. Come on, it's human nature. But not her. She just keeps going, oblivious. Or maybe it's that silver Tesla she jogged past, gleaming in some lucky resident's driveway. Did she just step out of that house? Is she scoping out the neighborhood, plotting something shady? Or, hold on, is it nothing at all? Just his instincts playing tricks? Whatever it is, Calloway's not letting it slide. He pulls over with a jolt, tires crunching against the pavement like a warning shot. He steps out, planting one firm hand on his duty belt, not grabbing anything. Oh no, just making sure she clocks it. His eyes lock onto her like a hawk as she slows her pace, yanking out one earbud with a flick of her wrist. She's breathing hard but steady, wiping a bead of sweat from her forehead with the back of her hand. Does she even care he's there? Something wrong, officer? She asks, her voice cutting through the stillness, still catching her breath like it's no big deal. Where you coming from? Calloway fires back, his tone steady, laced with that quiet authority he's spent years perfecting. She blinks, glancing up the street like she's piecing together his angle, then answers, home. Just getting in my run. Where's home? He presses, not missing a beat. She tilts her head just a fraction. Did you catch that shift in her eyes? Couple blocks down. Got ID on you? Boom, there it is. The air thickens. The moment teeters on a knife's edge. Her face hardens. Just a flicker. The easy flow of her posture stiffening. For what? She shoots back. And, Calloway doesn't like that one bit. Who's she to question him? He lifts his chin, studying her like she's a puzzle he's determined to crack. Just need to make sure everything checks out, he says, cool as ever. She exhales sharply, planting her hands on her hips. Can you feel the tension spiking? You pulled over to stop a woman jogging in broad daylight because you think I'm a threat? She demands, her words dripping with disbelief. He doesn't say yes, doesn't say no, just lets the silence hang there, heavy and accusing. She huffs a short, bitter laugh, reaching for her phone with a defiance that makes his blood simmer. You know what? Let's just call someone who actually enforces the law correctly, she snaps. Calloway steps forward, not aggressive, not violent, but oh so deliberate. MAAM, I'm not going to ask again. Show me some identification. Her fingers tighten around her phone. Did you see that? Calloway sure did. And in his mind, this just went from routine to red alert. But here's the kicker. He has no idea he's barreling toward the biggest mistake of his career. The street's eerily still, just the rustle of leaves and the faint hum of traffic in the distance. For Simone Daniels, yes, that's her name. The world shrinks to this one man looming too close, his stare pressing down like a physical weight. She knows this dance all too well, doesn't she? The routine, the pattern, the way it unfolds when someone like her dares to push back against someone like him. She's been here before, felt this pressure, seen this script play out in 1,000 quiet, ugly moments. But Simone, she's not backing down. She knows her rights. I'm not required to carry ID while jogging, she says, her voice even unshaken. Calloway shifts his stance, a flicker of irritation crossing his face. That's so... She cuts in, calm as a still lake, but to him, oh, it's defiance, pure and simple. He glances around streets mostly empty, just a few houses with blinds drawn tight, a couple of nosy neighbors peeking from their yards, too scared or too smart to step in. I'm investigating suspicious activity, he clips out, his voice sharp now. What activity? She fires back, and whoa, Calloway didn't see that coming. He pauses, thrown off his game. You were running past a home that had a high-value vehicle in the driveway, he says, like it's the most obvious thing in the world. Simone laughs. Can you believe this guy? But there's no joy in it, just raw incredulity. You mean the Tesla? So now jogging past a parked car is a crime? Calloway's jaw tightens. Did she just call him out? You're refusing to identify yourself, he growls. I'm refusing to be harassed. That word harassed hits him like a slap. His chest burns, his authority crumbling right there in the open. Strangers watching. He steps closer. You're resisting my investigation. Simone's face hardens. I'm resisting nothing. You're abusing your badge, and you know it. Her hand twitches near her phone again. And Calloway doesn't think, he just reacts. He grabs her wrist, lightning fast, words turning to action in a heartbeat. 1 second she's holding her ground. The next he's yanking her arm behind her back, metal cuffs glinting in the sun. What the hell? She shouts, struggling against his iron grip. You're under arrest for obstruction, he barks like it's straight out of the handbook. People freeze. Look at that. A guy on his porch whips out his phone, recording every second. A woman across the street stands there, stunned, like she's watching a train wreck unfold. You're making a mistake. Simone grits out, fighting to keep her voice steady. Calloway tightens the cuffs, does. He even hears the crowd and snaps. You should have cooperated. She exhales hard through her nose, pulse hammering in her ears, but her words stay firm. You don't even know who I am. Calloway doesn't care. Why should he? But oh, he should, because his whole world's about to implode. The cuffs bite into Simone's wrists as Calloway clamps down, pitting her arms back. Her chest heaves, controlled but tense. Can you feel her fury simmering? She's been here before, not in these exact cuffs, not this exact moment, but this feeling. The crushing weight of power misused? She knows it like an old enemy. Calloway, though he's blind to it. He sees a victory, another suspect in the bag, another chance to strut away feeling untouchable. But wait, the world's shifting around him, and he doesn't even see it coming. A crowd's gathering now. Can you believe how fast this escalated? A man across the street holds his phone steady, capturing it all. A woman by her mailbox yells, "She wasn't doing anything!" Calloway tunes them out, pressing his radio. Dispatch, I have a 1015. Female suspect refusing to identify herself, sending for transport. Simone lets out a low, incredulous laugh. You really think this is going to go your way, huh? Calloway doesn't answer. Why bother? The law's his shield, or so he's always believed. Then another voice slices through. Excuse me, officer, what's going on here? It's a man, 50s, sharp suit jacket slung over his shoulder, radiating authority that doesn't fit the bystander vibe. His eyes dart from Simone to Calloway. Calloway doesn't flinch. "Sir, please stand back." But this guy, he's not budging. He looks at Simone, the cuffs, then back at Calloway. "I asked what's going on." "She was being uncooperative," Calloway says, his voice firm, but wait, did it just waver? The man tilts his head. "Uncooperative?" Simone exhales, shaking her head. "He stopped me while I was jogging, asked for ID. I told him I didn't need to carry one. Now, here we are." The man's eyes narrow at Calloway. "You arrested her for jogging?" "She refused to comply with an investigation." Calloway snaps. The man's face darkens. That's so Calloway feels that the air's different now. Charged. He notices how people watch, how this guy isn't scared. Then, holy crap, a black SUV rolls up, tinted windows, unmarked plates, screaming power. The door swings open, and out steps Captain Ronald Briggs, Calloway's boss, looking like he's about to explode. The crowd parts as Briggs storms over, eyes locked on Calloway. The tension, it's suffocating. Calloway straightens, gotta keep control, right? But something's off. Briggs stops, glaring between Calloway and Simone, still cuffed. His jaw clenches, and then, wham! He drops it. "Uncuff her." Calloway blinks. "Sir?" Briggs steps closer. "I said uncuff her now." Calloway freezes. What the hell? His boss is telling him to let her go? Briggs turns to Simone, softens. "I'm so sorry, ma'am." "Are you hurt?" She shakes her head slow. "I'm fine." Calloway's stomach drops. "Oh no, what's happening?" Briggs turns back, nostrils flaring. "Do you even know who you just put in handcuffs?" Silence crashes over the street. Calloway swallows, his grip on the cuffs slipping. "Sir," she refused to identify herself. Briggs leans in, voice low and lethal. That's because she doesn't have to. Calloway's heart pounds. SUV. Stares. Briggs's fury. What's going on? Simone watches him, cool as ice, and says, "My name is Chief Simone Daniels." Calloway stops breathing. "Chief?" She lets it sink in, then cuts deeper, voice like steel. "And you just arrested your boss." Can you feel the sheer weight of those words crashing down like a runaway truck? Sergeant Brian Calloway's mouth goes dry, completely parched, as the realization slams into him with brutal force. He's standing there, frozen in the middle of this quiet Brookfield street, and oh, how he feels it. The piercing eyes of every single person in that growing crowd, the relentless buzz of cameras recording his every move, the hushed whispers of neighbors rippling through the air. It's all caving in on him, suffocating him. But wait, this isn't over, not by a long shot. Calloway's body locks up, his hands still clutching those cuffs, his brain scrambling to catch up. Did he hear that right? Chief Simone Daniels? His boss? The woman he just humiliated right here in broad daylight, treating her like some petty suspect, some lurking threat, is the highest-ranking officer in the entire department. How could he have been so blind? Captain Ronald Briggs' voice slices through the deafening silence like a whip cracking in the wind. "I said uncuff her now." Calloway snaps out of his daze. There's no room for hesitation this time. His hands fumble, trembling just a bit as he releases the cuffs, stepping back with a stumble. Simone rubs her wrists and, oh no, those red marks left behind twist Calloway's stomach into knots. The crowd's dead quiet, but the tension? It's electric, buzzing through the air like a live wire. Those phones are still rolling, capturing every second, and that man in the suit, he's staring at Calloway with a look that stings, prickling his skin with something dangerously close to shame. What has he done? Simone takes a deep breath, steady, composed, but there's a razor-sharp glint in her eyes that Calloway can't ignore. She rolls her shoulders, shaking off the tension, then turns to face him head on. "You think your badge gives you the right to stop whoever you want?" Her voice isn't loud, but oh, it cuts through the air like a blade slicing through paper. You think jogging while black is a crime? Calloway's mouth opens, come on, say something, but then it snaps shut. What could he possibly say? He's got nothing, no justification, no excuse that wouldn't sound pathetic and weak spilling out of his lips. Simone tilts her head, her gaze locked on him, studying him like he's under a microscope. I watched you make a decision today, she says, each word deliberate. I watched you decide I didn't belong here. You didn't know who I was, and that was all you needed to see me as a suspect. Calloway shifts his weight, his face burning hot. Can he even look away? No, he's trapped in her stare. She steps closer, her voice dropping low, just for him now, intimate and piercing. You put your hands on me. You humiliated me. You were ready to throw me in the back of a squad car over nothing. And if I were anyone else, if I weren't in this uniform, you know exactly how this could have ended, don't you? Calloway swallows hard, his throat tight, his hands twitching at his sides. Did she just see right through him? She leans in slightly, her presence overwhelming. How many others have you done this to? That question, oh, it hits him like a sledgehammer straight to the chest. Because the answer? It's not zero, and he knows it deep down where the truth festers. Briggs steps in, his voice booming with authority. Sergeant Calloway, you're relieved of duty until further notice. Hand over your badge and gun. The words sting sharp, brutal, final. Calloway's fingers hover over his belt, his pride screaming no, his reality shouting yes, caught in a war he's already lost. The moment drags on, stretching out too long, too thick with unspoken weight. Can you feel the heaviness pressing down? Then, slowly, reluctantly, he unclips his badge, the metal cold against his skin. He places it in Briggs's waiting palm, then his sidearm, each movement a dagger to his ego. His heart's pounding, hammering against his ribs, but he forces his face to stay blank, neutral, like none of this is tearing him apart inside. Simone watches him for a long, agonizing moment. There's no smug grin, no victory dance in her expression, just a quiet, heavy disappointment that cuts deeper than any shout ever could. She shakes her head, exhaling slow and deliberate. You need to take a long, hard look at yourself, Sergeant. Because after today, everything changes everything. Calloway doesn't respond. What could he even say to that? The weight of his choices crashes onto his chest like a ton of bricks as he steps back, retreating from her gaze. The cameras keep rolling relentless, unblinking, the crowd's whispers growing louder. But what haunts him most isn't losing his badge. No, it's the gut-wrenching realization that today he didn't just screw up, he exposed himself, laid bare every flaw he'd buried under that uniform. And there's no coming back from that, is there? He slumps into his car, staring at the steering wheel like it holds some kind of answer. The engine's off. His hands limp in his lap, fingers slightly curled. Do they still feel the ghost of those cuffs he snapped on her wrists? His badge and gun are gone poof, vanished. His career dangling by a fraying thread. The air inside feels thick, suffocating, like it's pressing him down into the seat. He finally looks up, eyes scanning the neighborhood unfolding before him. That same quiet street, those same perfectly trimmed hedges, those same houses that looked so normal, so innocent just an hour ago. But now, oh, everything's different, tainted, warped by what he's done. He watches as Chief Simone Daniels stands near her sleek black SUV, talking to Briggs. Her body language is controlled, every move precise, but there's a fire in her eyes. Can you see it? A blaze. He can't unsee. The bystanders, they're watching her too, but not like before, not as a suspect, not as a threat, but as a leader, a force. The weight of his actions sinks deeper, clawing into his gut. For the first time in years, maybe ever, Calloway isn't sure of himself. He's always prided himself on being a man of the law, hasn't he? Fair, decisive, instincts always on point, or so he thought. But today, those instincts were dead wrong, and it's cost him everything. Briggs wraps up, heading to his own vehicle with a stride that screams authority. Then Simone turns, oh, here it comes, locking eyes with Calloway through his windshield. She holds his gaze, unyielding, for one long, soul-crushing moment, then slowly shakes her head just once, did you catch that? Before climbing into her SUV and pulling away. Calloway watches those taillights fade into the distance, his chest tightening like a vice. He exhales, gripping the steering wheel so hard his knuckles bleach white. A year ago, heck, a day ago, he'd have twisted this somehow, found a way to justify it all, convinced himself he was right, that she was just another loudmouth making a scene. But now he doesn't know, and that uncertainty, it terrifies him to his core. Power doesn't always come from a badge or a uniform, does it? Sometimes it's about knowing who you are, standing tall in what you believe. Calloway thought he was in control, thought he had justice. All figured out, But justice isn't about who's got the power. It's about how you wield it. How many times has this happened someone without a fancy title, without a shield, thrown into cuffs for no reason at all? How many people have felt that cold steel snap shut because of someone like him? The story, it's not just about one cop messing up big time. Oh no. It's about a system that lets these mistakes keep piling up over and over, like a broken record nobody bothers to fix. So here's the million-dollar question. When will it stop? And who out there is brave enough, strong enough to finally do something about it? Oh, how this story burns in my chest. It's a blazing wake-up call about the kind of world we're living, in a world where a simple jog can turn into a nightmare because of the color of your skin. I'm furious, heartbroken, and honestly exhausted by how power gets twisted in the hands of those who think a badge makes them untouchable. Sergeant Calloway's story isn't just a one-off, it's a glaring spotlight on a lifestyle and social system that's rotten at its core, where suspicion trumps humanity and justice bends to fit personal biases. How can we keep pretending this is okay? I believe in a life where people can breathe free, where a morning run isn't a gamble with your dignity or safety. Simone Daniels, standing tall as chief, embodies the strength I admire, the kind of resilience that screams, I won't let you define me. But what about everyone else? The ones without a title to shield them? It's gut-wrenching to think how many have been crushed under that same heavy boot of authority, their voices silenced, their lives dismissed. This isn't just about one cop's mistake, it's about us, all of us, and the society we're building. I'm done with excuses, aren't you? We need change, real change, not just whispered apologies or empty promises. It's on us to demand a lifestyle where fairness isn't a privilege but a right, where power serves, not oppresses. Calloway's reckoning, it's a start, but it's not enough. My heart aches for a world where no one has to prove they belong where we live, not just survive. Isn't that worth fighting for?